box. Uh, I tried to do this on the tripod, but it wouldn't let me, so I guess I'm doing it like this. Oh, cool. I see I got one person in. Could anybody give me the heads up? Give me the thumbs up. I just woke up. I stayed up way too late. As normal, I got my Tim Hortons cup of coffee over here. I'm filibustering a minute until I get some confirmation that you can see me, you can hear me. Anybody in the comments, just give me a little confirmation. There we go. Fixing I tried to do this on the tripod with the other aspect, but it just, whatever reason, it wouldn't let me do it. I guess I set it up this way. Wasn't thinking. All right, I got 2 people, three likes. Let's end the filibustering. So today, hi, this is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today is Sunday Comics. I wanted to ask first off, anybody listening, watching, I've been cataloging my collection, and every time I scan in a long box, I immediately make like a short, quick rundown video of it. There's going to be a lot of them. I got like 100 and almost 60 boxes at this point. Hey, Marcus, warming up coffee myself. You're in and out, but you're back. Hey, Tony, how's everything? Is everything cool now? So I wanted to ask: is it dull when I do the long box videos? I mean, I'm gonna try to intersperse them with regular videos, and I'm gonna speed it up. I'm gonna put 2 of them a day, because they're only like 4 or 5 minutes long when I speed through a box. So that's gonna be a long time. Hey, good now. Okay, Tony. Okay, cool. I guess things were a little rough at first. Tony, I saw your video of your town covered in water. For those of you who do not know, Tony and I both live in New York. We both have the same job, although we're at different job locations. And New York was just a downpour. It was just, like a tropical storm or whatever. And it was the first time I ever. Oh, you like the long box videos? Cool, Marcus. Thank you. So it was the first time that we had to leave work because of rain. It was bad. And I'm glad we left when we did, because it just got worse. And the New York City subway system, it was crazy, like Waterworld. Yeah, Tony. Was your house damaged, Tony? My house is fine. I live in the highest point on Long Island, so, it was pretty good. If there's going to be any water in my house, it's going to be because of my plumbing, not because of weather. Sip of coffee. Okay, so, all right, focus. Okay, so people like the long box videos. I heard a couple of people, told me in person that they like the long box videos. I don't want to chase away any subscribers or, people. But so I'm going to intersperse it with a lot of live chats. I got a lot of live chats scheduled, and I will still do regular, normal showcases of comics. But I got to do the scanning. But I don't know. I'm kind of like the fact that I'm documenting my comic collection. Hello, Agent Zero. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody in the chat. Just seeing if I missed anybody. I did not. Okay, so let's begin. All right. This is Avengers 165. What year is this? 1977. I've been collecting comics for a while now, but I've been collecting comics like a little kid. And a little kid who didn't have access to comic book stores, because I don't think there was comic book stores, at least in my area, or perhaps more accurately, I probably just wasn't aware of them. I was 9 years old at this point. So Star Wars just hit oh my God, it was a good time. Good morning, Agents here. Okay, it was a good time to be a little kid. I mean, comic books were freaking awesome. Star Wars was just about to hit. Oh man. Oh, Marcus, this is a great comic. I did a video on this comic, but I did it. It's probably like my 3rd video that I if you if you want to laugh, I was like whispering. I was shy, I was not that I knew not that I know what I'm doing now, but it was in the beginning there was Avengers 165, but this is perhaps these two comics are my two favorite Avengers comics. This is everything that's great about comic books. This is comic books done perfectly. First off, let's look at this cover by John Byrne and Mike Esposito. We got this Nefaria floating head. We got action. There is no question of what's going to happen. This word balloons on the cover, that's just like a product of a bygone age. Hey, Bucky's here. Hey, Bucky. Bucky wanted me to do Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, the Billy Jack issue. But I will do that as a showcase. I'll probably record that after this, so it'll go up soon. Keep in mind, I pre-recorded like 1 million long box videos, so it might be like a week before that goes live. But I digress. Let me take a sip of coffee, get my brain activated. And okay, so there is no question what's going on in this. So there was a previous comic to this. We'll give you a little bit of Count Nefaria, who debuted in an early Avengers comic. That's a George Perez cover. I said, yes, you're right. It is George Perez. I said John Byrne. I don't know what's wrong. Yes, that's the Wizard. Looks like I'm having internet issues. I'm sorry if I'm chasing people away. There's nothing I can do about that. So let's open up and look in here. We got Pizzazz. Stan Lee wishing he looked like that. Why would you be stepping on any toes? No. So I love this. Did I tell? Get fiber internet. I have it upstairs, but downstairs it's Wi-Fi. I gotta run a cable through my whole house, I guess. I really should if I'm gonna continue doing this. But anyway, I dated a girl out in Albuquerque. She had a comic book store. Not only did she have a comic book store, but at one point she was like all of New Mexico. And they have a big property. They own like a strip mall, and behind the strip mall is just like one big gigantic warehouse. And it's to this day filled with old comics. And somebody broke in once and stole the first 6 boxes of comics they could find. And then it was all Pizzazz. He was just like, thank you, whoever got rid of those Pizzazz magazines. They were just cluttering up the place. So somebody stole like 6 long boxes of like issue number 1 of Pizzazz. So here we go. That's my Pizzazz story. So let's look at this splash page. I used to install and repair Fios in Westchester. Oh yeah, you live in New York, Marcus? I didn't know that. Another New Yorker. All right, so let's look at this beautiful, amazing, glorious splash page. And let me give you a little bit of the issue before this. So this is Count Nefaria. Count Nefaria was a Magia Don. Magia was a Marvel's way. I think it was the Comics Code Authority. Or maybe it was just, I don't know, whatever reason, they shied away from saying mafia. So they made up this imaginary word, the Magia. So, Magia were organized crime. But, it's funny because they started using mafia in Punisher comics. So at least that's the first time I actually remember them using the word mafia. So I think Marvel kind of distinguished the two organizations. So the fictional Magia is like organized crime, but organized crime with high tech and supervillains. Wherein the mafia is just, the mafia of the real world. Count Nefaria is like a European, I don't know what country he's supposed to be from, because remember, the Magia is fictional. He's a Magia Don, so he's like not the leader of the mafia or the Magia, but he's one of the leaders of the Magia. And he's a long and storied career. He's been in the, famously, he's debuted in the Avengers, then he was in the X-Men, and he's the one that killed Thunderbird. He was escaping in a plane, and Thunderbird basically killed himself, but he gets the blame. And then he met this scientist, and the scientist promised to give him superpowers. So he captured the Living Laser, the Whirlwind, and the original Power Man. And I forget if he captured them or if he just paid them off or whatever, but they went into like this magic science machine. It amplified all their powers by 100 and then transferred their powers to to Count Nefaria. Yeah, it became Super Magia. Yeah, Super Mafia. So what is this? This is Superman. So he has all the powers of Superman. And this is, oh, let's look at the indicia before I go any further. I mean, 1977, we already knew that from the cover, but I always like to show the indicia. So this is Jim Shooter, the writer, who I could just, how many times can I go on and on and on about how much I love Jim Shooter? And I'm trying to get him on the channel. I'm messaging him through Facebook, through his email address, through his website. John Byrne, penciler. Pablos Marcos, inker. Pablos Marcos, if I remember correctly, he's Filipino. And he's just a mainstay at this point in Marvel. Just one of my favorite inkers. And that shows you like how little kids don't pay attention. I knew the name. I knew these names since the 80s. But Pablos Marcos, I kind of forgot about or didn't realize I knew anything about him until I started doing this channel. Then I realized that Pablos Marcos like inked some of my favorite comics. Denise Wall, letterer. Phil, I can't even Racine, colorist, and Archie Goodwin is the editor. So more and more praise for Jim Shooter. He's just doing some of my favorite comics. So he got all the powers of the Living Laser, the Whirlwind, and Power Man. So he's got all the powers of Superman. And look at this, like, I just love this costume. So this is Homelander before Homelander. This is Jim Shooter, doing the evil Superman thing back in 1977. Just taking a sip of coffee. And here he is. First panel. So that's the first. So now he's just coming out and fighting the event. For no reason. He just wants to, he's reveling in his powers, and he just wants to fight superheroes. So opening splash page. Captain America and Black Panther are just beat. And I love this. Hey, Madness, how you doing? Is this Pops? How you doing? And I just want to point out that the Black Panther now, look at these blue highlights. This is just a early coloring. If they painted them all black, it would look like a smudge. Like even his costume is like jet black, and it's just blue. Hey Pops. So he just took out Captain America, and he just took out the Black Panther. And what is the Beast going to do? Now, keep in mind, I say this all the time. This is my Beast. This is, how I knew about the Beast from these comics. I started collecting Avengers around 150. I would miss an issue and have to track it down. But that was the fun or torture or whatever of comic books at the time in 1977 before direct market comic book stores. You just had to find them. So I didn't know at this point. Remember the X-Men weren't that popular at this point. The X-Men were on the they basically were just about to be canceled, and they were brought back in a last ditch effort. So I didn't know who the Beast was. People, we take it for granted that the X-Men were super popular, but the X-Men at this point, for years, they were reprints, and then they were canceled, and then they were brought back, like revamped. So the Beast, I didn't know about the Beast. I always thought he was a blue furry guy, and he was always Avenger. But look at that, he just swats the Beast. Here we got Scarlet Witch over here, and give a guy powers. So what does he do? He takes on the Avengers. He could save a bunch of stray cats. Something. Yep, he has a fight. Yep. Oh, Pop says he started collecting at the Avengers crossover. Yeah. Spoilers. Spoilers. Here's my current long box video. Avengers. This is my fourth or fifth long box of nothing but Avengers comics. So I've since made up for lost time. I got, you'll see, I got all the Avengers. But anyway, look at this. Look at this beautiful, cool. And she's shooting her Hex Blast. Now, as far as I'm concerned, everybody gets the Scarlet Witch's powers wrong. Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, when they made her up, she was supposed to be just like this bad luck being. She points at you, you get bad luck. Bad thing. The improbable happens, not the impossible. The improbable happens. So she points at Nefaria, and the ground launches itself. Gravity goes haywire. To me, that's kind of impossible, but whatever. And he shoots. He shoots the lasers, and I love this. He's just talking. He's saying, what did you? He goes, such spirit, such beauty. Were you human, I would be tempted to keep you. In a way, it'll be a pity when my laser beams melt through the stone missile and disfigure you. You know, he's like, Yellow Jacket. I love that costume. This was my introduction to Henry Pym. Now, Henry Pym, excuse me. I always knew about Ant-Man, but I didn't realize that they were the same person. You know, I was a 9-year-old kid at this point. So Panther, get Wanda out of the way. So they're in mortal danger. So Black Panther's recover, and he just come look at that. Look at that. That is just a cool costume, and he just shoots him right in the forehead, right between the eyes, and he catches him. And then the day is saved by Wonder Man. If suddenly I had Superman powers, I'd sit in my house squeezing coal into diamonds, then go chat up girls. Why even do that work? If you had the powers of Superman, just go and dig up gold. Use your X-ray vision, find some gold. You know, use your X-ray vision. Spoilers. I'm making a comic book called Heroic Tales, and the main character is Patriarch. Patriarch has super senses and telekinesis, and one of the things he does is in moments of peace, moments when his powers aren't needed, he will use his senses to find rare minerals, sunken treasure, and he'll recover it. Why? He has 7 children. He has a wife. He has a house. He has worldly bills. So he doesn't have a job because, you know, he's not a mild-mannered reporter in his secret identity. Nobody knows his secret identity except his wife and kids because he's protecting his children. But he'll go up into the air and he'll focus and he'll find something valuable, and you know, gold, diamonds, you know. He's not stealing from anybody, you know. He's pulling it out of the earth himself. So, you know, why squeeze into diamonds? There's already diamonds. Just go get them. What does it say? The Scarlet Witch was Jinx from Teen Titans before Jinx. Yes, Marcus redacted his message. All right, I guess he was gonna. I don't know. Maybe said some dirty words. But here we go. So he's fast enough to catch the Yellow Jacket, and then Wonder Man shows up. I love this. If I remember, yeah, this wasn't my first appearance of Wonder Man, but this is my favorite appearance. Look at that. Just the choreography, the fight descriptions, everything in this comic is just right on target. And look at this. This page is the page that made me. I can't type. Yeah, tell me about it. I don't know how many Twitter messages I just delete because the typos just are embarrassing. But this is the page that made me a Wonder Man fan for life. Right here. I very rarely read everything, but I think I'm going to read most of this. So, boom, he punches him. Just that punch just looks like it hurts. Because you're tough. But that just means I can hit hard. And I'm the guy who laid out Thor once, Avengers #9. I did a showcase on that. I'm new at this hero business. I don't know what to do. Like all the time, but like all the others. I get scared because I know what it's like to die, and I'm not used to throwing my life on the line for every few minutes. But now it looks like it's up to me to stop you, and I'm going to, Mister, come hell or high water. I love that. So for those of you who do not know, Wonder Man debuted in Avengers #9. He was Simon Williams. He was an industrialist, which they kind of forget about. You know, they make him an actor now, but he was a businessman, and he was rivals to Tony Stark, and his business was going out of business because you're not going to compete with Tony Stark. So he made a deal with Baron Zemo and the Enchantress, and they did some magic science on him, literally magic science. They did magic and science on him and turned him into this Wonder Man. And he went and he beat Thor, you know, and then he turned on the Masters of Evil and ended up dying. Because the process was unstable. They didn't do the magic whammy on him, and he ended up dying. But he didn't die. He was slowly transforming into energy. So he came back around issue 155. Body. So he's made out of energy that looks like a human body. And so he thinks he died. Everybody thinks he died, but he was laying in a coffin, aware for how long that was in comic book time. So that's what he thinks death is. He thinks death is just laying there, being aware in a coffin. How terrifying is that? So he's afraid of death, even though he's energy now. He can't be killed. He's immortal. He's one of the most powerful beings on the planet. But his mind is limited by the concept that he is human. Like later on, especially during the Kurt Busiek run, he starts to realize he doesn't need to eat, he doesn't need to sleep. You know, he could shape change because he could just control his body. He's vastly powerful, but at this point, if he was to have a weakness, it would be fear of death, and that makes him hesitate. So right now, he's overcoming this consuming fear, and I love that contradiction of the most powerful being on the planet, more powerful than Thor, is afraid of death, afraid of dying. So these two panels right here, and then he's just like, "What? You can't be getting up?" He goes, "Of course. Like you, I am inexperienced. I wasn't prepared for your power, but this time I'll be all right. I don't care. I'll just keep smashing you. I won't surrender. I won't back down. Blast it. I'm Wonder Man. And you may be the strongest mortal who ever lived. Except, of course, for me." And then, blam! Look at that. Just look at that. Now look at this masterful body language over here. "Mr. Williams, are you all right?" I wish I were. Then I wouldn't have to go back out there." He goes, "But what can I do? Get us help. Get quick. I'll check the power. I check the power. I may have damaged the house systems on the way in." He's like, "Oh, the power, the vision," and this, scary vision laying over here. So look at the body language. He is terrified. Not only is he terrified, he's doubting himself, but what does he do? He's a hero. He's going back out to fight. This is just awesome. And Jarvis is checking on the vision, making sure that, because the vision was damaged by Ultron. And I think I did a showcase on them. All right, while we got the ads, let me catch up on the comments. "Burn is so good here. Look at the storytelling. So great without slanty crazy." Yeah. I've only seen Wonder Man in the black shirt. Yeah, I think that was given to him by Kurt Busiek. And that's just a classic, limited, simple but elegant costume. Look at Wonder Man's costume. I thought Daredevil was the blind guy. Yeah, Wonder Man up until Kurt Busiek took over in the late 90s, 2000 era, it had the worst costumes. I've been doing videos on Golden Age heroes. I just did one on the hero, the Flame. Cool. Yeah, I've been watching your stuff, Bucky. This panel, that was a Perez costume. Yeah, Perez designed that costume during the Kurt. That was a great run of Avengers. Kurt Busiek, George Perez. So she's just causing debris to whatever, and he's just toying with them, just shoot laser stuff. This always made me laugh as a kid. I must have studied this panel over and over again. Just the way that to me it always looked like they were just sitting on a park bench, you know what I mean? But here we got Captain America and the Beast, and they're just flinging Captain America's shield at him, and he just plucks it out of the air, and he's like, "I love this." He goes, "Captain America's shield. You are a fool to relinquish it, for I am fast enough to pluck it out of the air, and I have dreamed of the day that I could crumple it in my hands like foil." And here, he can't crush this shield. And he's like, he goes, "That greedy fool, the scientist, swore that I would be, my strength would be without limit, yet this cursed shield defies the best. Doesn't matter, I'm powerful enough." And he just casually throws the shield at T'Challa. This is the second time Black Panther was taken out like a chump. And what'd he do? Because I got to go deal with that scientist who lied to me, that said that I was all powerful. So he's just picking up a building. He was just toying with the Avengers, and they're like, "What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?" He's throwing a building on him. There's no place to dodge. He's like, "You can get out of here." I love Beast. He goes, "Get out of here, Beast." Beast is like, I could jump out of here, but I wouldn't make it carrying anybody, and I don't like to travel alone. So he doesn't save himself. Wonder Man jumps in to hold up the building, and the building just collapses. He's like, "I did it. I've killed the Avengers. They're dead." We all know that's not true, but it's just amazing. Did Cap and the Beast ever play chess against each other in a comp? I don't know. This was the era when Shooter and the Avengers faced villains way more powerful than them. Yes. And I'll talk about that too. So now the building collapses. We have like the SWAT teams just holding off the crowd. Hold on, my chair just sank. And there we go. And then we got this guy coming out. and this was my first appearance of this. This is Henry Gyrich. Henry Gyrich was in the X-Men movies. He is the ultimate business, the ultimate government bureaucrat. He's like, I'm the government, mister. And he just waltz in, and, here comes Nefaria. Nefaria is just like, what do I do with my power? That shield crushing sequence is a classic Marvel method. I bet $5 Byrne had no intention of Nefaria breaking that shield. Shooter added that later. I, I, I your guess is as good as mine, I never thought about that, but who knows, I don't know. I don't know, but this is just classic. The choreo, and this pause over here. Oh, and here's whatever they do close-ups, they add people. So I bet one of these is Jim Shooter. I bet you that's probably like the colorist. I but whatever they do close-ups, especially Byrne and George Perez, they would always draw their friends and themselves. So he walks into the bank. He's just like, what do I do? I'm super powerful. He's just like, I'm going to rob a bank. Thanks, John. Man, I love Byrne. What an era for comics. Yes, GR, you're absolutely right. This is why I got to tell you, my friend Mike and I, we must have like acted out this comic, talked about this comic, like studied this comic. To this day, I could close my eyes and picture like 75% of these panels. I don't know how... I didn't know Shooter had pretty deep... Yeah, Shooter was a great writer. That's why when he became editor-in-chief, he did it all. Jim Shooter wrote, he drew, believe it or not, he drew comics, he inked comics, I think he even colored comics, and I can't say for certain, but I wouldn't be surprised to find out that he lettered comics, and of course he edited them. Guy Ritchie's Shooter. That's pretty funny. So now Nefaria just rips the vault off, and he's like throwing money around. He's just like, why am I robbing a bank? He's like, if I want food, I'll take food. He goes, if I want a house, I'll just take a house. I don't need money. He's like, I'm beyond economics. And he goes like, oh, that's one thing I want. So this is pretty creepy. It's funny how we could accept the fact that he just tried to murder the Avengers, but the fact that he grabs this pretty girl and he's like, I'm gonna go take her, and I want this pretty girl. I'm going to take this pretty girl. That raises my hackles, right? But it's funny how we're conditioned to be like, oh, this is gross. And it is. But it's not gross that he just tried to murder the Avengers to prove how powerful he was. So what's he doing? He's just choking out this girl. He's like, I'm Count Nefaria. I do what I want. He's like Cartman. I do what I want. And things were about to get pretty unsettling over here, if not for my first appearance of the Wizard. I think maybe it's not the first appearance of the Wizard. And I know I'm a child, but the fact that his name is the Wizard and he wears a yellow costume makes me giggle uncontrollably. So, has anyone read the comics featuring the Green Mask? I don't know, Bucky. And I love this. He just, he just starts beating, and he's laughing at him. He's just laughing at him. And what does he do? He just hits him in the chin. The girl is escaping. A very unpleasant future. And I love this. He's just holding the Wizard over a building. And I love this panel. And again, I don't always read, but I'm going to read this because this is important. And he just says, surely I could... He goes, I decide upon... my might could give me the might to do anything. All I have to decide upon a particular... a prize spectacular enough... So what he's saying is my power gives me the right to do whatever I want. He goes, just as surely as I have the right to snuff out your life if I so choose. Now, I want to point out a little bit of coloring over here. This is perfectly normal. We got the buildings on the side, this perfectly colored. Over here, we got this like worm angle view. The sky is blue. Over here, the sky is green. It's just green background, Why? Because they have to differentiate each panel. Why am I bringing that up? Because I'm about to hire a colorist to do my comic, and this is one of the things I like to think about. If a lot of the new comics, a lot of crowdfunded comics, they make that rookie mistake of the whole page is basically the same color, but with the characters different color, and it just makes the whole page a mishmash. It's hard to distinguish that. And then, this is perfect. We got the shadow. Look at the sky is yellow. Why is the sky yellow? Just so every panel has each panel is an individual panel. Then we could go back to the blue sky over here. And then this purple. Why? Why? Because each panel sticks out. So let me just finish this little sequence, and then I'm going to go through everybody's comments. So I love that. So he goes, my life is behind me. He goes, Nefari, it doesn't matter if you kill me. It doesn't matter what else you do to. Go ahead, use your powers, conquer the world if you can. How old are you? 50? More? You're past your prime. 50's past your prime, everybody. So I'm past my prime. He goes, you've acquired your strength just in time to watch it fade with the dress of your youth. In 20, maybe 30 years, you'll be dead, and the world will be rid of you. Count Nefaria will be a nightmare that ended. Another Hitler, scarring the pages of history. So look at him. He's like, He goes, no, I must never die. I must never grow old and die. I give you your life, wizard, for you have given my power purpose. And that, I just love that. And I remember as a kid, I thought he ripped his arm off. So let's look up. I just want to see. He got the nickname the Wizard from his buddies about 3 beers. Yes, yes. Yeah, even Nefaria can't beat Bidenomics. Can anybody? First time I saw Wizard was a 90s cartoon and Spike Lee making fun of his name, The Wizard explaining it. I also like The Wizard as a comic book artist. Is he? Is he a comic book artist? I didn't know that. Maybe in the cartoon. Yes, the Wizard got his powers because he was bitten by a mongoose. It just keeps getting worse for him. Yes, yes. He was an original Golden Age character. He was in the 40s. And he married Miss America, and he became the adopted parents of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver for like a year or two, raised them when they were infants. So there you go. So out of the rubbish, this I always thought was the bank, but this is the laboratory where Count Nefaria got his powers. He literally got his powers like minutes before all this. He got his powers. The first thing he did was, I'm going to go beat the Avengers because they defeated me in the past. This is the scientist that gave him the powers. And here comes Iron Man. And again, this is the only clumsy storytelling, because when you look at this looks like Iron Man is going through this wreckage to get this scientist. But no, this is the Avengers Mansion. This is a hole in the Avengers Mansion. This is another building in another part of time where that scientist is coming out of the wreckage. Then this is Iron Man going to the collapsed building. You see what I mean? This page has always been a little clumsy. And what's he doing? He's just blasting through the rubble. And he's like, I should have been there. I'm the leader. I should have been there. Let's look at the names. I just, RJ's battered, Dave Donovan, Barb Garcia. Wow, a woman in comic books. Who would have thought? And here is an advertisement for the all new X-Men. When you get muscles, here you go. Get these muscles and become like Count Nefaria. Just don't go out and fight all your enemies right away. Saul Bennett. You say question marks. What about the Wizard? Yeah, that is an awful origin. So Iron Man is surprised that they're all still alive. Did anybody really think they were dead? So what happened was Wanda used her hex power and made a crater, and then Wonder Man is discovering more and more about his powers every day. He's realized he doesn't get tired. Why? Because he's made out of energy, and he just held up the debris and saved them all. So that's what they did. So now, I love this. His costume got destroyed. It's no time to put a shirt on. But I think this was their way of saying that costume was awful. So it's a perfect excuse to design another costume. So Iron Man's debriefing what's happening. I just love the realistic. He's got his arm in a sling. And so Iron Man's just like, okay, I'm here now. I'm going to take, you guys are all defeated. You guys are all hurt. Stand down. I'll take care of them. And then she comes up and just starts yelling at him. Iron Man, Cap is right. We fight together. We'll follow you through the gates of hell, but you've got to lead us. Lead us, Iron Man, or step down. So he was saying, I'll take care of it one-on-one. And I always, this just shows you juvenile child. When I was a kid reading this for the first time, you could see whether, and I always like, he's going to blow up her boobies. Stupid little kids, little boys, right? 9 years old, you get interested in boobies, and boobies become the most important thing in the world. So Iron Man is like, what? And here comes Count Nefaria. He comes back. And what is he doing? Because according to Count Nefaria, he killed the scientist that made him. Of course, he doesn't know that the scientist is alive. So Count Nefaria he wants immortality now. He deserves immortality. Immortality is his birthright because of his power. So he just rips through the wall. And he's like, what's he say? He goes, somehow, I never believed I had slaved the Avengers. Bah, I'm here seeking Thor. Summon him. If he were around, he'd be seeking you, boo-boo. Stay back. Let me take him on first. And Beast is like, why I oughta... don't tell me to hang back. And T'Challa's like, no, he's acting like a leader. He's going to probe him. Let the leader see what he can do. So the rest of the Avengers just stand around and let Iron Man. And I love that punch. Another shooter trope. The Avengers were always bickering. Yeah. You know, he's taken after Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. You know, the Avengers were... If you remember, Hawkeye was always giving Captain America nonsense since Avengers 16. You know, so it's just inbred in the comics that the heroes bicker. Hulk was bickering with Rick Jones. Who else? The Human Torch and Ben Grimm were always bickering. It's just a good way to throw in some snappy banter, some dialogue, and also get a little bit of characterization into him. So I love that. He punches Iron Man, and then he just blasts them. Just great. Wanda points her fingers the wrong way, and Iron Man turns into a Yugo. And then I love this. He just fires these lasers and rips the ground out. Just such a good fight. Such a good fight. And then the Beast takes this moment to distract him. He jumps on his head, and T'Challa finally does something. He hits him all. And what'd he do? Third time, he just takes out T'Challa, takes out the Beast. And I love this panel. You're like, okay, now she's gonna do something. She's just pointing, and what happens? She's pointing at a building, and now a building is about to collapse on Nefaria. You know, and I love this. You buried me under a building, Nefaria. Now the Scarlet Witch returns the favor. You waste your hex energy, my lovely, with your brother Quicksilver here to see how his speed pales against mine. So in one swoop, he takes out Scarlet Witch, Yellow Jacket, who hasn't even done anything, and Captain America, who just stands there like a chump. This is supposed to show you how fast he is, that he got there even before Captain America could put up his shield. And I love this. Iron Man just picks up this debris, and look at this classic Iron Man armor. That is just a great pose. And you know, I put tracing paper over this and drew that over and over again. And then this always bothered me. Look at his legs; they're just like straight lines. You know, I don't know if that's a failure of the inking or what, or the failure of the coloring. I don't know, but boom, he's smashing them, and that looks like it hurts. So Iron Man is doing some good damage, and now they're just going toe to toe, blasting each other, and then he hits Iron Man, and Wonder Man is hesitating. I don't know why, but I just love this. He's just hesitating right here. Because Iron Man almost did it, but Nefaria was staggering it for an instant. If I had struck then, we might have beaten him, but I stood here watching, afraid. I failed Iron Man. I failed the Avengers. And here comes the Vulture eating cupcakes, which I will accept because fruit pies are disgusting. So boom, he just jumps in. He's terrified right now. He's scared, but he's overcoming his fear. Boom. And now he hits him. He's like, come on. Boom. And they're just going at it. Just fisticuffs. Just fighting over here. And what is Yellow Jacket? Yellow Jacket, he goes, Wonder Man can't last much longer. Let's Yellow Jacket. And he's like, what's going on? Captain America is like stunned. Yellow Jacket just abandoned his post. He just flew away. He goes, I'm pitting the super hard body of a falling Avenger should send a weapon. I'm betting that the super hard body of this fallen Avenger should serve as a weapon to smash another. So he punches Wonder Man. He's like calling the shot. Wonder Man goes flying into Captain America. And why? Captain America was stunned by by Yellow Jacket basically fleeing. He's like, what? I didn't expect that. He's like, now I defeated all the Avengers. I need Thor, because only Thor could bestow upon me the secret of immortality. And then, guys, are you ready for the greatest panel of all time? Boom. Lightning, my God, thou hast dared much, villain, and thine hour of judgment hath come. Look at that. Oh my God, is that the most awesome side? Oh my God, that is an awesome cliffhanger. This is perhaps the greatest panel in comic books history. The only thing that could have made this better is if this was on this page and you had to turn the page to see this. But that is awesome. Fake Superman versus fake Superman. You're pretty much right, Kevin. You're pretty much right. Thor was made as a reaction to Superman, and then this is, guys. This is why I'm tired of the evil Superman thing. It's been done. It's been done better. It's been explored now for 50, 60 years. Knock it off. The boys, look, it's what if Superman went evil? We've been there, done that. And then, then we got this nice guy playing guitar. Now, and then we got the Spalding ad, Jack Davis art, classic advertisement. So now we got this. Now, keep in mind, I keep talking about how back in 1977 there wasn't comic book stores, or at least I wasn't aware of comic book stores. So I'm not joking. This took me years to find this. So, that was like the greatest cliffhanger in history. For years, probably like 5 years, maybe 6 years, but 5 or 6 years before I finally got a copy of this. Why? Because there was no comic book store. It wasn't until the comic book store opened in my area, the Incredible Pulp, that I was able to get this. So, oh my God, how did they win? How did they win? How did they win? The only other cliffhanger that's going on so long is when is Miracle Man 25 coming out? Does anybody know if I know Marvel was putting out Miracle Man. Did Marvel finally put out the missing issue 25? That's the other cliffhanger. But look at this cover. Look at that. That is just awesome. George Perez, and I can't read it, but this is more George Perez. So look at that. So now this is a less dramatic, but look at this. The hammer is flying at Nefaria, and let's look at the credits. Jim Shooter story, Byrne and Marconi art, Rachel Cullett. So this is all the same exact team as the last issue. We don't need to look at the edition. It's 1977. So Thor is throwing. They all had the department store in a town with $3 bags in the toy department. They all got ripped open. There were tons of these issues. Oh my God. I remember those bags. They were like returned comics from the direct market. They would just bag them and resell them. They would put like a good comic on the front and a good comic in the back, and the middle comic was some garbage that nobody ever cared about. Yeah, I don't know. Those are fun. I love that. The hammer just smashes into him. Thor just advancing I love that. He's going forward as the hammer's going this way, and he's like, whoa, please stay away. Like he's afraid. George Perez and Ernie Chan on the cover. Okay, thank you, Marcus. Thank you. Ernie Chan, another one I love. Now look at Thor. It's just like, I am Thor. He goes, yield, cur. Ere in my rage, I batter thee near to death. So Thor is just pissed. And he's like, whoa, Nefaria's like, he hurt me. And he's hit me twice, and I'm still alive. He's done his worst, and I've taken it. Why should I be afraid of him? He should fear me. So he's psyching himself up. And Thor just whirls the hammer and deflects the lasers. Look at this. So it's like Thor's hammer versus lasers. He's like, he goes, behold, he goes, you want to see power? Behold, I'll show you power. You want to see, and Nefaria's like, what are you doing? And we'll have to, I always love these little dramatic pauses. He goes, a hole, a portal, far away, another plane of existence. It's sucking me in. I can't resist for long. Thor's not playing around here. He's gonna banish him to like, elder space, beyond time and space. Thor is just like, you want. He's like, I got to knock a building on Thor. So he throws it, collapses his portal. Thor's like, whoa. He drops the building on Thor, and already he's like, there, I done it. I did it. He's a one-trick pony. He's panicking right over here. I love the panic. And he's like, I got to get out of here. Maybe I can find that hammer. And boom. Thor's like, nope, you're not getting rid of me. And now he's just summoning like everything. The fury of the storm and everything like that. And look, the hammer is like being hit by lightning. It's supercharging. And no. I love that. Oh my God, did I love that. Nefarious stops the hammer in mid-swing. Because, damn, look at that action. Yeah. The God of Thunder versus the Carpathian Crusader. Yeah, he kind of does look like Count Dracula. So, So now we got the Beast. He's like, I can't believe it. Even I, he goes, I woke up just in time to see you running out. I thought I was dreaming. I never thought I'd see the Yellow Jacket fleeing battle. You know, Beast, what are you doing? You also fled battle. So he's like, listen, I'm out of my league over here. You know, I'm a scientist first and foremost, and I know when I'm outclassed, we need more raw power. And when we're talking raw power, we need the Vision. Remember, the Vision was defeated by Ultron in 162. So he's like, you know, we're gonna lose. We need Vision. So he's doing some magic science, and yep, hot dog, it worked. Of course it did. Yeah. So he wakes up the Vision, and he's like, Vision. He goes, Count Nefarious become. He goes, desperate need should preclude excess speech. Where is Nefaria? He's like, oh my stars, he's more robotic. I've never seen him. What happens if he's not all there? He's outside. So Vision is acting, you know, cold and whatever. Why? Because Vision is going through an identity crisis of his own. He loves Wanda. He was reminded that he's just a robot by Ultron. Ultron almost because, you know, Ultron created him in the comics. Ultron created Vision. I forget about the movies. And then like Ultron's building a family, you know. So he's just like, oh, what's going on? And he fades through the floor, and now Count Nefaria is getting the upper hand. Look how powerful. Does Yellow Jacket know who he is, or he is? No, he's bipolar. He knows he's Hank Pym. He's pretty much in control of himself. The bipolar stuff they added in later to explain erratic behavior. He went through like a mental breakdown because of Ultron and took on the Yellow Jacket persona. But then he kept it because, first off, it's a freaking cool costume. It's one of the coolest costumes. And he wanted to be dashing because he thought that's what Janet Van Dyne. Later on, they described him as bipolar, and I thought that was just like a perfect explanation for the swings in his personality. But yes, he knows who he is. He had like a little miniature breakdown because of Ultron, brainwashed him and made him think he was Ant-Man, made him forget like the past 10 years or whatever. But yes, he's back to normal for Hank Pym, which is erratic. How's that for an explanation? So he's beaten Thor now. Look how powerful he is. He just took out Thor. And he's like, there we go. And he's going to grab the hammer because he believes since he beat Thor, he deserves the hammer, and the hammer will confer upon him immortality and vision. Whoop. He goes, it's over. He goes, I'm going to stick my hand into your body and disrupt you. He goes, just disrupt. I've heard it is most unpleasant, but he can't penetrate the energy. Look how powerful Nefaria is. Even when he's untangible, he can't penetrate. He's like, oh, so if you can't pass through me, I can't pass. My fists can't pass through you. So he just double smashes the Vision. Yep, I love the old Yellow Jacket super suit. I drew him. Yes, so cool. They used the original. Yes, they used the original Human Torch body for. No, they used the original Human Torch body for Vision. They used Wonder Man's brain patterns also for the Vision. Yeah, so the Vision is a conglomeration of Wonder Man and Human Torch. Hank Pym might need meds and a good psychiatrist. Yep, and that's one of the plots of the West Coast Avengers. That he seeks therapy. So look at I love this reminder that she was hurt in the first part of the trilogy, and now she's recovering, and he's like, look how bad it is. And I love this. Jarvis is just going around taking care of the Avengers. He picks up a freaking bus. You know what's going on now. I love this. Rolls Royce is just driving through the police lines, and the cop shoot the tire. The car crashes, and who's that? That's the scientist. That's the scientist who gave Nefaria the powers. And Hulk. Thor is just smashing the bus out of the way. This is just a great battle, Jim. This is perfect action choreograph. And he's like, you can't be alive. And then what do we have here? A little bit of a recap. Why a little bit of a recap? Because comics were easy to find. They were everywhere. But like I said, the continuity of finding comics. Like at this point, I was collecting comics, meaning I bought whatever I liked. But I didn't know about the numbering system. At this point, I knew about the numbering system, but it was hard to get them. So I didn't have 164. That took me another couple of years before I got the issue before this. So this is perfect. Look at him before he had the powers. Here we got the living laser, a Power Man, and and Whirlwind, and he's telling them, I'm gonna, I'm gonna pay you whatever money it takes, but we're gonna replicate your power. We're gonna make you 100 or 1,000 times more powerful. And unbeknownst to them, they transferring the powers into Nefaria. So then when it's done, he attacks everybody, but this old man lives, and you could see that the flashback is gone. And I appreciated that because I didn't know, because now we know who that guy is. And he's like, look at you. Because I didn't finish the process. I needed to stabilize the experiment. You attacked me right away, and look, you're getting older. You're going to die soon. The power is burning you out. He's like, what? It's impossible. Holy mackerel! I'm older. He's like, yes, you'll be dead in a few hours. And then and what only happens in literature, he gives his big speech and then dies. And he's like, what? Because I'm dying. This is and Thor. I love this. Thor is a hero. He says, then surrender, Nefaria. Perhaps the Avengers can save thy life. For among us lies a great numbered scientific men of great scientific, several men of great scientific learning. No, leave me alone. Didn't you hear? Sturdy, Sturdy, that's the guy's name. Only he could save me, and he's dead. I killed him. So look at Thor is like mercy. We'll figure out how to save you. He's like, and he's just gonna go on a destructive rampage. If he's gonna die, he's gonna take Manhattan with him. So Vision's like, holy moly. He goes, now, human rage, senseless rage in the face of death. He must be stopped. So Wanda is talking to Janet Van Dyne, and they're rallying the rest of the Avengers. Dr. Doom is laughing at crazy. And let's look at the names. Scott Hardin, Ed Vi. Believe it or not, Ann Nichols is a name that I recognize because, again, there's no women in comic books, I just recognize that name. She wrote a lot of it. Robert J. Roberts. That's got to be a fake name. Let's get super. Let's buy some T-shirts and the suspense. So now, this I absolutely love. Okay, we got to go out there. Nefaria is wrecking stuff. He's gonna die, and he's gonna expend all his energy killing everything. Captain America's like, I'm beat. I know when I've had it. Here, take this. You might need it. So he's like, it's an honor I don't deserve. I don't know how to say it. Thanks. Then let's go. So Wonder Man with Captain America's shield. For some reason, that was like a stand up and cheer moment for me. So now what's Nefaria doing? He's just wrecking buildings. He's just wrecking. And Vision is like, we got to take him out. So Vision is just using his powers to save everybody. I always thought this was funny. He's using his heat jewel to vaporize these rocks. So was he spraying lava on everybody? He's like, get out of here, get out of here. He goes, now I can fly. And he just flies up and takes out, throws a punch. And what's he doing? He realizes that Count Nefaria can't fly. He just leaps. So he's like Superman, at the beginning. So as Nefaria is flying, he punches him, he breaks his momentum, and he drops because he doesn't have the true flight. And now Wonder Man is throwing punches at him. He's shooting lasers, using Captain America's shield. Just, even though Captain America's defeated, this is just teamwork. I just love that. Iron Man now, so all the big guns are back. Scarlet Witch, in her own way, is probably the most powerful Avenger. He's fighting Iron Man. Then boom, the hammer just hits him right in the chest. Thor's here. She's doing hex bolts. They're all getting focused now. They're all like coalescing with teamwork. He's stunned by Scarlet Witch. Thor I always love this punch with the extended knuckle. Boom, boom. He hits so hard, a building's collapsing on him, and that, it's just the stakes are getting right. He's starting to stagger. And what is Vision? Vision is so high. That's Manhattan right here. He's like, this height should be right. He goes, now I must increase my mass and density to the ultimate, to render my body as hard as the purest diamond, and then fall. Vision defeats you while yelling, I'm your density. So you know what's going to happen. And the torpedo happens. Marvel Bulletins, this is in-house news, and then this is Stan writing articles. Stan wanted to be, all right. And then, but whom? Now, tell me that's not like some sort of childish joke, but whom? So, boom. So, the Vision He's what is he like 100 tons when he's like this, and I love this. So boom, she's like, oh my god, boom, and upstate New York, so there was an earthquake in Manhattan, and that's John Byrne and Jim Shooter, you know, Vision, oh my god, Vision, and he's like, are you upset now? They're starting to drop clues that Wonder Man has feelings for Scarlet Witch at this point, and it makes sense since these two share the same brain pattern. And Vision's like, it's over. I knocked him out. He goes, oh my love, I was so scared. He goes, we have much to talk about, my wife. And he's like, here, here. Everybody's fine. Everybody's. And now Iron Man starts reprimanding Thor. Where are you? Where are you when you need you? Thunder God or not, I like to know where you get off, honoring us with your presence only when you feel you're deep enough. Would that I could explain. He's like, I should question you the same question, Shellhead. The team has hit 80% while you've been our leader at Absentia. If in case you didn't notice, it was Vision's solo effort that finally beat Nefaria. Hold on, there's no time. So now the team is fighting, and they each have a point. And this was the beginning of a. Thor has been like the Deus Ex Machina, like literally the God of the Machine in this era of comics from 155 to like 175. Thor's not in the comic, and then all of a sudden he shows up at the last minute to bail them out of problems, and they're addressing that. There's some sort of like thing that is preventing Thor from joining. And who is this? That's not me. That's not me in the comic books. That's Django Maximoff, and he's coming to look for his two children. So this is like a culmination of like the lineage of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. So there you go. This was to me one of the most epic. It's really a three-parter, but a two-parter of Avengers story. Avengers versus Count Nefaria, and of course when Kurt Busiek took over around like 2002, around there, he revisited this and he had Nefaria come back. But it just it just wasn't as epic as this. But yeah, I forgot that the Django Maximoff thing started in issue 165. It took a year to get that plot rolling in 181. Yep. This was a lot of plots, subplots, payoff for a long time. Yeah, this was comic book storytelling at its best. There was so much like, look, Henry Gyrich shows up over here, and that didn't pay off until like around what issue is 181? I forget which issue that was when he took over the Avengers and streamlined them down to 7. It was just long-term comic book planning. Why? Because Marvel was stable at this point. If they hired Jim Shooter and George Perez, they stayed on for 20 issues. Chris Claremont wrote the X-Men for it, 17 years. John Byrne took over the Fantastic Four for like 6 years. Peter David was like 12 years on the Hulk. Writers could set up long plot lines. And then, because the Jim Shooter years, like, he made sure that the plot lines were resolved. So when a new writer took over because of whatever reason, the notes continued to the next guy. They finished up the storylines. It was a cohesive, well thought out, well run, well planned company, and man, it worked. It was 181 for both Gyrich and Maximoff. You're absolutely right. Kevin's an all-time Avengers fan. So there you go. Two Avengers comics that these are, without a doubt, my two favorite Avengers comics of all time. There could be no comparison. There could be no argument. This is classic. I really should have put 164, but I'm glad I didn't, because I just came in an hour and I can't really talk for that long. I bet the Korvax out of plunked in the middle from 170 to 180 slowed all this down. Yeah, it did, but that was also awesome too. It was a welcome insertion. But someone needs to write "What if Vision fought No Man?" There you go. Go ahead, Bucky. There you go. You write that. Vision would kick No Man's ass, unless No Man came up with some trickery. I guess No Man's smarter. Okay, now that I think about it, Vision would just annihilate him in the short term, but I think No Man would win in the long run due to scientific trickery. But there you go. This is two of the greatest Avengers stories. 164, it really is a trilogy, but 164 is the setup, and then this is the payoff. such a good comic. John, I'm not complaining. It was all Shooter. Yeah, yeah. I didn't think you were complaining. I didn't think you were complaining. So, all right. At this point, I'm just going to ask if any questions, any comments, anything you want to say, and I'll keep talking as long as comments keep rolling in. Otherwise, I'll shut everything down. Again, I hope everybody is enjoying the long box series. It's going to be a long series. It's going to take like months to do. Oh, thank you, Jeff. Oh, good. Jeff's here. Jeff was one of the first people that I did a live chat with. Oh, GR, thanks. Goodbye. All right, I guess everybody's leaving. So let's just channel news. I'm sorry about that. Oh, Tony Dimes, it was a blast as always. Tony, do you have these comics? Focus, because this internet's driving me crazy. So let's just get the unpleasant. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I'm almost at 800. I want to get monetized so I could pay for artists and make my own comics. I'm working on a comic now. We're gonna do the first 5 pages, get it colored, get it inked, get it lettered, and then try to do a Kickstarter for that. See if there's any interest. And one step at a time. This Tuesday I'm gonna have Pete Samedi, and we'll talk about comics. And then this Wednesday I'm gonna have Luke Stone, the owner of Fund My Comic, and we're gonna talk about crowdfunding. I'm gonna ask a lot of questions, take notes, because that's what I want to do. And it's gonna cost money. I got a couple of memberships already. Again, not to be crude, I got it's what is it, $4.50 a month, $5 a month or whatever. What do you get? You get nothing. I'm sorry, I'm a terrible salesman. But when the comic comes out, Renzo and myself will autograph them and send them to you. You don't have to pledge on the Kickstarter, but you might want to, because I'm going to try to have other perks like T-shirts and stuff like that. So have a proper Kickstarter. So that's all the unpleasant stuff. The pleasant stuff is a blast. I bought Avengers steadily from about 150 to 2. Yeah, great comics. 181 popped out like a nuke. 7 of you Avengers. The rest of you are out. Yeah, I did a showcase on that. That is just awesome. I remember reading that comic book. My mom went to. I forget if I was home from school or if it was the summertime. I forget when, but I remember my mom went to like a luncheon with a bunch of old ladies. They were probably in their 40s, but they went to this woman's house and they had lunch in the kitchen, and I just sat in her living room reading that comic book over and over and over again. Now, do you guys, were you like me as a kid? Would you read a comic book and then immediately go back and read it again? I would, a comic book would enthrall me. One comic, I would, no joke, read it for hours over and over again. I would read it quick because I was excited. Then I would read it again, absorb it, look at I would stand up and like pose, oh my God, like this punch, you know what I mean? And then if anybody was unfortunately near me, I would talk to them about this comic book ad nauseum. Anybody else like that? I can imagine Pops was like that, Oh, I'm sure Arthur, he's a lifelong comic book collector. So I'm sure. It was just the Democrats trying to control the... Jeff did. He did. I've read... You see, that's funny that you said that the Democrats... Like, Henry Gyrich never said what party he was working for. You could argue that he was a Republican. You could argue that he was a Democrat, and you'd both be right. That was politics done right in the comic books. My personal rival... Oh, wow, new name. Thank you. Thanks you for showing up. I've read FF 25 and 26 100 times. The Avengers and the FF vs. the Hulk. Oh my God, yes. That cover with them on the building with the I-beams is one of the greatest covers of all time. Yes, the early days I would reread lots of Spidey and X-Factor. Yes, you're absolutely right. GR. I've read and reread and redrew my favorite panels. Yep. Yeah, so you guys understand. All right, it looks like people are leaving. Thanks a lot. I will see you... I forgot to do Monday music last Monday because I got excited about my long box. So I'm going to record Monday music, and then literally for like the next week or so, it's just long box videos. They're already recorded. At that last point to create, at that point, because they were all Democrats. Yes, you're probably right. But Jim Shooter is smart. I bet you today, if I was to talk to him, was Henry Gyrich a Republican or a Democrat, and he would honestly say, this is my belief, that it would be like he's whatever that makes the story better in your mind because it wasn't explicit. Yep. Nowadays, I reread Strike Force Morituri and Original Secret Wars like once a year. Wow, Strike Force Morituri, there's a blast from the past. Secret Wars, yes, I remember. I read that over and over and over again. But Mr. Shooter is easy to talk to. Well, if anybody has his contact information, I would love to talk to the guy. I would love to talk to the guy. You know, he doesn't know me from a hole in the wall, and I'm like coming at him like a gadfly. Just every way that I could try, like Facebook, Twitter, his personal blog. Arthur, you said you could contact him. Please, I would love to talk to Jim Shooter on my channel. But thanks a lot, everybody. I'm gonna get going. You met him at HeroCon at the bar. Yes, you said that story. Oh yeah, how awesome was that? And you said he was a great guy, which is awesome. He's not well liked among a lot of creators, but then again, like John Byrne is a diva. So and all I know is that the work on the Jim Shooter was awesome. Awesome work. His Legion of Superheroes is awesome. But thanks a lot, everybody. I'm gonna get going. Yeah, sorry, I was a little late. Oh, don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. It's a recording. You can watch it later. So thanks a lot, everybody. I'm gonna go. Bye bye. Thanks for showing up.